Good morning. When I was a little boy, my mom used to read to me from a book similar to this. It's called Nursery Rhymes and Stories. And actually, my wife Margie and I used this book to read our son and to our children when they were small. My son's name is Jason Luehrs. And nursery rhymes are little poems that sometimes have a message, and sometimes they're just fun to remember and say. Have you heard any nursery rhymes? Remember maybe one about Humpty Dumpty, or the Three Blind Mice, or Little Miss Muffet? Come back. Don't go away. I won't bite.
Eddie.
Come on.
Now.
Do you remember Little Miss Muffet? Can you tell me Little Miss Muffet?
Little Miss Muffet sat down, a spider sat down Little Miss Muffet, and then she got scared and ran away.
Yeah, that's the idea. I remember one in particular. My father told me it was advice on how to live my life. It said, "Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." And I would add, tired. I had one in particular that I didn't quite understand, and it was one about Little Bo Peep. It says, "Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep. You can't tell where to find them. Leave them alone, and they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them." The part I don't understand about that is, I don't know if you've ever lost a pet, or in particular, sheep. Sheep are not real smart. So if you leave them alone, I don't think they're going to come home. They're going to kind of wander around and get into trouble. So in the Bible talks a lot about different animals, but sheep in particular, it talks about a lot. There's over 200 Bible verses where it talks about sheep. And if you had a pet that got lost, what would you do?
Try to find it.
Yeah, you would go looking for it. You would try to find it because it's very important to you. Well, Jesus refers to people as sheep, and he calls himself a good shepherd. Does anybody know what a shepherd does? What does a shepherd do? He takes care of sheep. He takes them to where the grass is green and there's water for them to drink. And if any animals come and attack the flock, he defends them. And what else does he do if they wander away?
Go find them.
He'll go find them. And Jesus says he's the good shepherd. So if we remember in our Bible, in the gospel reading, it talks about Jesus had gone to this desolate place because he wanted to rest, but there were a lot of people there. And so he says they're like sheep, and he's the good shepherd. So he taught them a lot of important lessons. And by the end of the day, they all got hungry. So what did he do then? Remember?
Feed them.
Yeah, he fed them. And how did he do it? Did he go to the store and buy lots of bread?
No.
No. What did he do? Does anybody else remember what he did?
He took 5 loaves of bread.
Let's give him a chance, okay? Remember what he did? Yeah, and 2 fish. So he took 5 loaves of bread. Well, you all know about how big 5 loaves of bread are. And 2 fish, they're not that big. And he fed 5,000 men. And in those days, a lot of times the crowd was counted by how many men there were. They didn't always include the women and children. So there were lots of people. And he did this because he had compassion on them, which means he loved them. And so he took care of them by teaching them about God and by also feeding them. And what we want to remember from this story is that Jesus is our good shepherd. He considers us as sheep, and he wants to take care of us by helping us with our worldly situation and problems, but he also loves us so much that he died for us and saved us from our sin. So what I have here is I have a picture of a sheep. You can take home and color And will help you remember that just as Jesus had compassion on the people at that time and considered them to be sheep, we are his sheep, and he wants to take care of us. He comes looking for us when we're lost, and he has compassion on us. So, after we close here, I'll give you a picture. You can take it home and color it, or you can just put it up this way and help you remember. Let's all pray. Let's close our hands. Hold hands. Dear Jesus, thank you for being our shepherd, for loving us so much that you died for us, and for watching out for us and taking care of us and looking for us when we get lost. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Okay, let me get a picture and ask to have some bulletin. We'll continue by sitting